My name is Marquise Waterford, and my project is about the beginning of blues music. Please call me on the phone sometime. Blues music started off as a typical gospel type music with songs by 19th century slaves like Wade in the Water and There's a Leak in This Whole Building and other really old gospel songs. But in the 1950s and 60s, it started to become really popular and even considered to some as rock and roll, with popular artists such as Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Etta James, Chuck Berry, and Little Walter, who all recorded in Chicago's Chess Records. The only problem was getting their music played in the South. And in the 1960s, there was a lot of racism, and you had to do a lot to get your music played on a Southern radio station. And that's just what Chess Records did, hitting the top of the charts for songs like Midnight Creepin' by Little Walter, At Last by Etta James, Smokestack Lightning by Howlin' Wolf, 40 Days and 40 Nights by Muddy Waters, and Maybelline by Chuck Berry. Even though they were getting noticed, it wasn't always all good. They were still unable to play in some restaurants and establishments because of the colors of their skins. But then, when blues music started to look up, in 1956 when it started to be recorded by newly acclaimed British band, the Rolling Stones, with songs like 2120 South Michigan Avenue, and in 1981 the internationally popular Rolling Stones went on a London tour featuring Muddy Waters and Willie Dixon. As the years went on, blues music had new headliners, and one of these happened to be my granddad, Willie Big Eye Smith. As him and his band, the Legendary Blues Band, which featured Pinetop Perkins, Nick Moss, and Billy Flynn. The band recorded 7 albums and was nominated for W.C. Handy Award in 1993. Also in 1993, the band broke up and wrote its last single. But all of the band members became stars in the next years. My grandfather personally won 18 Blues Foundations from 1993 to 2009. And in 2010, the Legendary Blues Band rejoined one more time at the 31st Kennedy Center Honors at the White House. Their performance featured B.B. King and Buddy Guy. In 2011, my grandfather won a Grammy for Best Traditional Blues Album, Joined at the Hip, with his friend Pinetop Perkins. Sadly, from 2011 to 2012, 23 blues artists died, including my grandfather. Writers called that year the Blues Killer. Chicago celebrates the integration of blues music every year at the Blues Festival in June, featuring my uncle, Kenny Beady Eye Smith, also a Grammy Award winner. And I have an interview from a prestigious bassist, Bob Stroger. Prestigious blues bassist, Bob Stroger. Bob, when did you start playing music?
Well, I started playing music, must have been around 60 or 50, 56, something like that. 60s, in the 60s, I say. Been so long ago.
What music did you like to play the most?
Well, when I first started to playing music, I started off in blues naturally. And what really got me started in the blues, I was staying there on, I think, Oakley and Lake Street. It was a club called Silvio's at the time. And I was staring in on Oakley, and I could come out my back door and look right into the club. So back in those days, you never had no air conditioning, so all the doors was open.
When you were first touring around in places and playing in places, did you think that you were changing the world?
Was I doing what?
Did you think you were changing the world when you first started to play blues music?
No, when I first started playing, I thought it was just a fun thing. I wasn't playing for a future of music. I was just playing because it was fun, and I never did think that my music would change anything. What really got me really interested in playing the music professional when Otis Rush took me to Paris. And when we got to Paris around 8 o'clock in the morning, it was people lined up around the block to hear us play. And so from that day on, I said, hey, I wanted to be a musician.
Do you think you've influenced any other blues musicians?
Well, so I say. I got lots of fans that really enjoy what I'm doing, and I think I'm putting a lot of impact on the young musicians that's really in the blues field, especially throughout Europe.
Do you think other types of music took, or how can I say, do you think other parts of music took a little small part of blues?
Well, that's where it all comes from. You know, blues never die. You can go into the rock and roll. You can go from that into jazz. All of it kind of started from the blues. It's all the blues beat in there. Blues, it goes around. If one dance be famous, the Watusis and all those dances, but when they all fade out, it comes right back to blues. So we'll never die. We're here.
What is the difference between blues and rock and roll to you?
Well, I love music. All music is good music. As long as it's speaking what I understand. It's like a lot of jazz. I can't understand it. It's most for people that really read music, the fusion jazz. I don't care for that too much because I don't read music. I can't understand the execution. But the jazz that I can understand, like Count Basie, Woody Herman, the swing jazz, I love it.
Do you think young generations should listen to blues music more?
Yeah, not for the ideal planet, but the young generation, that's our history, especially the black music, younger people. That's where we came from. I think you should always be proud of your history. So, yes, I think they should really get into it.
Last question. What advice would you give to younger people like me?
Well, hard work and love what you're doing. You know, if you're going to play music or you're going to be a carpenter or anything that you could put your mind into, put your whole heart and soul into it and give it everything.
Thank you.
I started playing blues in the late 1960s and early 1970s. I was influenced by all the players I heard playing live in the clubs and by people on records. Favorite bass players are also Southern Soul players like Duck Dunn, Tommy Cogbill, David Hood, Gerald Gemot, as well as session players in LA like Carol Kay and Motown session player James Jamerson.
Hi, I'm Dave Spector. I'm a Chicago blues guitar player and band leader. I started playing blues guitar back in 1985 when I was 21. And some of my influences include Otis Rush, T-Bone Walker, Kenny Burrell, Magic Sam, Muddy Waters, and many others.